Morning, guys. 9:51 on Tuesday. Bitcoin still not making any real progress. I think to be expected, though. I think this CME gap is a bit of an issue, mainly because we're so close to it. It's not like we're, the CME gap is down at 49,000. We're literally on top of it. So the expectation has to be that market makers will, manipulate this price to fill these orders um, before any sort of movement upwards. Now the problem is we don't know how long that's going to take, so it could take a week. We could end up in this scenario before there's an opportunity to push the price down and then move back up again. But I think that we have to have in the back of our mind that this gap is going to be filled sometime this week. If this gap is going to be filled sometime this week, we have to expect that Bitcoin will retrace downwards as well, and move potentially to this support line here, so 54,903, or down to the lower trend line. Bear with me. I'm just going to tidy this chart. Bear with me because we don't need this falling wedge anymore, these arrows, etc. So I'm just going to clean up this chart. One sec. Okay, so tidy chart. I've just removed some of the patterns that that Bitcoin was previously trading in. So just have a look at the daily. So we have the bigger overall picture, okay, which we know about. Don't need to go through that again. Just watch any previous videos. Potentially looking for a move down to this trend line. We need to hold this trend line. We do not want to lose this trend line. If we do move down, we're looking for a bounce straight back up into the pattern retest and a continuation. Okay, so we may see, if we do go down this low, we may see a wick down before we move back up, back into the pattern. Okay. Smaller picture. Okay, so we're in this, what was a broadening wedge, but I've changed it now to, it's more looking like a falling wedge. Okay. And then we also have the previous rising channel that Bitcoin was trading in originally. So I'm just going to extend this slightly because this will become quite important later on as we move back up to these areas. So I'm not getting rid of that one for now. What I'm going to do is just make sure that's there. Okay. Because ideally we want Bitcoin to break back into this pattern and then continue this journey. Okay, so we're constantly putting in these higher highs. But for now, what we're dealing with is this. I'm going to change this to falling wedge. DGE. Okay, we're dealing with like so. Okay, so let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. So what are we looking for? We're looking for, so yesterday we mentioned we needed to bounce off this particular support line 55,808. That held, so we're still looking for this to hold. Okay, I'm pretty sure if it does hold, we'll just be transitioning this way for a period of time. Might be 24 hours, maybe a bit longer. We're looking for a break, so 68% chance that this breaks higher. We're looking for a break here and then a retest, and then we're looking to take this key level and then this key level, 61,385 being the main level. Okay, that's the important level that we want to be taking right now. But what we have to bear in mind is the CME gap. So there's a strong probability that this CME gap will get filled before the price starts to recover. If that price is driven down to fill those orders, the CME gap, then we're likely to see a move down from Bitcoin as this moves down as well. So the bottom of this CME gap is 54,800. We're looking for, if I just copy and paste, actually let's just add a horizontal line in, Alt H, and then I'm going to put 54,800, which is the bottom here. So I'm going to change the color of this. I'll change this to, yellow. Okay. So the bottom of the CME gap is 54,800. So we could well see a move down past this support line, past this 54,800 before we start to see a move back up. Okay, so with regards to trading at the moment, I would wait patiently. If you're not in any trades at the moment, just stay in USDT. We're looking to buy, I would say, our area of value with regards to our trades are when Bitcoin hits this area. Personally, I think it will hit this area. We've got support here, so we've got a little bit of support here. I'm just going to move that up. Target 53,660 as your low point, and then anywhere in this box, I would say, is a good place to put in a trade on an altcoin if you're not trading Bitcoin. Not trading advice, but this is my opinion. This is what I think I would be doing. So I'm going to wait. If you have a look at the 4-hour indicators, so you've got the stock RSI, which is cooling off. It's coming down to oversold when we'll start to move up again. You got the MACD, and he's changed the colors of these slightly. You got the MACD, looks like it's about to cross. Okay, so if let me just change these colors slightly on the histogram on this one. Just gonna make that darker green just for now. Okay, you got this. Look, it looks like it's about to cross over. Okay, but it could move back up again. If it does cross over, then we're definitely going to see some downtime. So keep an eye on the MACD. Have a look at the lower time frames, the 3 hour. Just see what's happening on the lower time frames. You can see it's about to cross over. Potentially that means it's going to cross over on the 4 hour. However, the stock RSI potentially is going to start moving up. So the MACD might start moving up. RSI still bullish, still 54 on the 3 hour, 52 on the 4 hour. Okay, so I think if we do move down, it'll be fairly short-lived and then a move back up. So the bearish has moved down to this area, this green box, possibly a touch of this lower trend line. This lower trend line may touch towards the end of the week. We don't know yet. We just need to see what happens if Bitcoin starts to break out. The bullish scenario, so what we're waiting for, I mean you can see it here. So don't need loads of clever tools to work out what Bitcoin needs to do. Okay, so rejected, 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 rejected. Okay, so we're looking for Bitcoin to start trading or get to this level here, and that's just the starting point. The key level, like we keep saying, 61,385. So if Bitcoin can get through this resistance, so this trend line, and then 58,941, and start consolidating in this area, and then make a move up, then I'm fairly confident we'll hold that level, and then hopefully we'll start to target higher high. But Bitcoin has to get there first, has to get here first, and then needs to make another move up to get essentially here. And then once it's here, and we can hold Bitcoin, the bulls can hold this level, I'm fairly confident we'll start to make, this will be the end of the correction that we're in, and Bitcoin will start to target higher highs, but there's a lot of work to do at the moment. So for me, I'm sitting out, I'm waiting for a move lower. I don't know whether that will happen or not. This is just my expectation. I think we'll move lower. I think the CME gap will get filled, and then I believe we'll look to break out, get to this area, start trading sideways, and then move up again, get to this area, start trading sideways, and then hopefully push off from there to look at making higher highs. Remember, back of our mind, we always have to have the fact that if Bitcoin puts in a lower high, so it doesn't get past this point, so the high is 69,000, if Bitcoin puts in a lower high, then we could be in a bearish scenario for a lot longer, okay, on the basis that we've just rolled over. So we can see what's going on here. Okay. Very unlikely if this happens. If we put in a lower low, very unlikely that we'll then put in another higher high. I think anyway, based on previous experience and what's happened in this sort of situation before. And you can see it. If I go to the daily, every time, and we've gone through this before, every time we've put in a lower high, so higher high, higher high, lower high, boom, down we go. And you can go even further back, so even here, look, so higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, lower high, correction, okay. Even as far back as, you know, you have to drill into these, but even as far back as whenever there's been a lower high, we've had a drop, okay. So Bitcoin has to keep putting in higher highs to keep moving upwards. Once we get that lower high, it's a bit of a warning flag, and that's when you would need to be really, really cautious with regards to trading. So let's have a look at the 1 hour quickly. Indicators on the 1 hour. The 1 hour is not looking too bad, so we're moving up, but we're still a little bit bearish on the MACD, waiting for this to cross over bullish. Not sure that will happen before this hits the top. If this hits the top, then potentially, and this MACD hasn't crossed, then potentially this will move down. Remember, when certain conditions are met, trading bots jump in and really, really move the price. But these conditions, so that would be bullish MACD, that would be bullish stock RSI, that would be bullish RSI, you know, in come the bots. But we haven't got that at the moment. We can also draw some trend lines here, so we can draw a trend line on the stock RSI. So we're looking for the stock RSI to move above this line. Possibly we'll get a rejection of that line, and then we might get another rejection of that line, okay, which means we'll probably be doing this with the MACD as well. And on the 1 hour, we're not particularly bullish on the RSI either. So everything's kind of suggesting that we're going to move down unless we have a major news catalyst and the price moves up. I mean, there's been massive institutional buys by Grayscale, and the third biggest whale has just been accumulating in this area for a long time. So the general consensus is that even if the price does move down or does dip, we're going to be going back up. So trading is good in a way that there's a degree of confidence that if the price moves down, it'll move back up past where you're trading, where your entry was. But for me at the moment, I'm just waiting to see if I can get some altcoins a bit cheaper. Certainly looking at Block. Block has obviously moved down with Bitcoin. Shill was doing well. Sand, you know, I'm very keen on Sand at the moment. I'd love to see Sand just move down to sort of this sort of level, $4.50. That would be amazing. GT had a great run yesterday here, but retracing now. Chili's, Doge. So Doge breakout. Again, this would be a really good one to watch. If we do get a drop down, so Doge may well follow this trend line down before it starts to move up again. I think Doge will be a good purchase at the moment at this price. I mean, Doge at 20 cents. You know, it's been, like I say, it's been retracing for a long, long time. It's been retracing since the 28th of October. Okay, maybe not that long, but still a month. Bigger picture is, yeah, I mean, the high of 35 was back in August, and even that wasn't a great high. So strong probability that Doge will make a move soon. Just drawing in this trend line here. Doge will make a move soon. It's already had a breakout, but obviously Bitcoin is controlling the market at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. Again, just to recap, personally, I think we're going to move a bit lower. We're going to fill the CME gap. Once we fill that CME gap, I think we're going to bounce and we'll start to move higher, but don't rule out a touch of this trend line right down the bottom on the basis of we could be trading in this much bigger pattern here. And again, for me, I've said before, I would like to see a touch of this trend line just to confirm the pattern, and then I would like this scenario to happen, so we're just trading in this area before then we start to make an attempt at an all-time high. Okay, I think it's really important for patterns to play out, and it gives you confidence. If we get a bounce of this trend line and it starts moving up, we've got all of this time in which we can trade. Okay, and that might spark on an altcoin season. Right, I'll leave it there. Chat to you later, guys. Cheers.